Every other expert out there is telling you or making you feel like you need to have the best funnel that was ever designed by all the humans on the planet in order to win. They're wrong. All of them. Yet again, I've built a $500,000 business without a funnel. Now, am I saying that you don't need a funnel ever? No, that's not what I'm saying. But trust and believe, here and today, in this world, at this time, you have everything you need to turn your entire cash game around. So this 3, maybe 4-part series is for the person, the amazing human who is saying to themselves, sweet Jesus, how the hell do I get out of this thing? How do I get my money game together? And how do I stop staying on empty or dry or without, or you fill in the blank. Hey you, welcome to Build the Damn Thing, a place where myself, Tiffany Largie, and our amazing Do the Damn Thing coaches show you how to use your story to build it all. Whether it's your first 6 figures, your next layer of multiple 6 figures, or maybe you're on your way to $1 million. And if it's not that, it's the life of your dreams, where you are free, you are strong, and you are whole. First, we're going to show you how to use your story to build a strong foundation. And then next, we're going to show you how to use your story in sales and marketing to clean up the cracks. And last but not least, we're going to show you how to use your story to gather people. Because truth of the matter is that there's nothing stronger than being connected to people who just understand you as you are, where you are, so you can stop explaining yourself. I want to remind you that now that you're here, you are home, and I officially welcome you to our family. All right, let's get started. Here's concept number 1. When we think about getting like our money game together, now stay with me and take notes, because I'm going to turn this into about a 4-part series as I just get into money. It's fresh on my mind, not only because I've had to do it for myself, but because of the fact that I know sometimes we get this life card, we go into the abyss, and we feel like we're just lost. We're lost. We get one life card after the next, and we're like, how am I supposed to respond to life with this money gap that's behind me? Rome was not built in a day. God, if that were that's probably the most true statement that there ever was. And as I think about where do you start first, in this series, I'm going to walk you through what do you do first, second, third, fourth, and maybe even 5th if we can get to it. So that way money or turning wherever you are around doesn't feel so obscure. But I don't want you to think that this entire journey is going to be around money tactics. My promise is that I'm going to help you get your mind right. I'm going to help you get your money right. And I'm going to help you stay focused on the task at hand. We just finished night school. And if you've never been to night school, it's www.DTDT Night School. It is probably the best thing that we do. It is like 7 days here at Do the Damn Thing. It's like 7 days, about 3 hours a night. But hell, on Friday, we had one of my friends from Thailand who recently sold a huge company. And I would say we were probably in about 5 hours. So night school is anywhere from about 21 hours to 30. But I promise you, it's the best thing that there ever was. And the greatest part about it is that it's free. It's the one time for the year, or the one time for the quarter, that we corner our knowledge, our fresh expertise, and we deliver and share it with the world. And the reason why we do it is because it allows for us to reach people who don't really have the ability to pay the dollar amount that we request for our products and services. However, it's also the neutral playing ground. It's the one place where you are okay. Like, you're whole, you're present, and you're equal. Step number 1 in turning your money around: create a place that everybody is neutral. That means that you have an open invitation for you to invite people to take an action. Okay, stay with me. Now, before we get into certain types of dollars or how you create them, I really, really want to settle down on how we look at Do the Damn Thing. So Do the Damn Thing is one of the companies, but it is the largest brand, visible brand that we're known for in the market. And in that brand, we teach a very specific avatar how to take their story, own their story, leverage their story, think of their story, dive into their story to create everything, their business, their sales, their offers, their brand, their marketing, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you have to have a neutral place to invite people. I believe that that's an experience. I think the fastest thing that everybody can do right now today is to create an experience. We have something super fancy that's like in our studio and has a lot of lights and cameras and microphones and people. I mean, it costs me somewhere between maybe $4,000 and $8,000 to just produce night school. And that's like a hard cost. I don't know what my soft costs are in that, but it's expensive for me to produce night school. But I'm committed to do it because I know that it showcases the level of expertise we have for that avatar, regardless of how they're finding us. Now, does that mean that you need to go and create a night school? No, it doesn't. But it does mean that step number one is you need a neutral place where you can invite everybody to. The other method of a night school is a really good webinar, a masterclass, or a virtual training. Now, could you replace this for something in person? You could. The challenge for me, for you at this moment, taking this to something in person, is that oftentimes we think doing something in person is the right way. And it's really good, but it's also very tricky because you got to pay for a place. You got to pay for a place. You have to think of the details. So you're dual-minded emotionally because you're trying to find the ticket sales to pay for the place and organize the food and organize the details and getting in front of stuff. And it just gets overwhelming mentally. And instead of focusing on you being your best and showing up and teaching people and doing the damn thing, you're over here doing this shit over here and it really doesn't serve you. So you're like, flip, what do I do? So for the sake of this, I'm going to refrain from in-person experiences. And the reason why is because right now, everybody has the ability. Like if you have this device, you have the ability to teach, you have the ability to share your knowledge, you have the ability to get in front of an audience. And as wild as it sounds, you don't need 35 people to say yes. You just need 2 or 3 people to say yes in order for your whole money game to turn around. Now, Matt Gill, who I'm going to probably bring on, I'm actually going to bring him on for moment number 2, because I really want you to hear how he took these steps. When Matt Gill was a client in our mastermind, Relentless, he took these steps and he said, okay, great. He took his audience. He created a landing page using a tool on Kajabi. And you can go ahead and see what that tool is. It's at www.dtdttools.com. I think there's an affiliate link there, but you get like 10% off or a 30-day trial or something awesome by using our link. So go ahead and use that. But Matt created this landing page. He just used the template, dragged and dropped and said, hey, I'm going to be teaching people this simple thing, nothing magnanimous. And he said, I'm going to do it on this day and this time. He went to Facebook and he went every day and he was like, hey, people, I'm going to be teaching this thing over here on this day and this time. Now, he did this for about 2 weeks and then he had 88 people registered. Now, the day before Matt's event, I'm going to let him talk about it actually. But the day before, I pushed Matt a little harder. We get 100 people. Fast forward. He closes 20% of the room for step number 1, product number 1, offer number 1. Closes the other percentage of the room for offer number 2, product number 2, place number 2. The reason why I'm sharing this and highlighting this is because it's free. He did the whole thing for free. He simply used Facebook. Now, Facebook is no different than you using Instagram, LinkedIn. It's no different than you heading into someone's DM. It's no different than you going in your community and knocking on people's doors and talking to them then. If money is not coming to you, baby, you got to go to it. I cannot emphasize that enough. In the last 18 months of me not turning around my companies, but getting in front of a situation that we had. We had a situation and the situation was real. I got sick in February after making stupid investments. I spent like more than $100,000 in the 30, 40 days before making investments in things and putting a studio together and ... And then I got sick. I lose my ability to walk. Then I don't get better. Then I get diagnosed with a disease that doesn't have a cure. And I find myself 7 months later going, what the whole literal hell? WTF in its purest form. Between July and October and September, I literally just needed to not take time, but I had to come to terms with the fact that I had been diagnosed with a disease that doesn't have a cure. And I had been given a life sentence in my mind in the midst of me having 7 million ideas, 800 miles per hour momentum, and all of the opportunity in front of me. And I was struggling, trying to understand, like, God, why would you have given me all this vision for me to get sick? What are we talking about? I'm 21 in these streets. Now, my oldest daughter just turned 20, so I may have to change the story of me becoming 21 because it's pretty awkward. She's like, hey, listen, I'm 22. I could be 22. Let me tell you what she said the other day. She was like, listen, it's pretty awkward because she went to the hospital with me. This is a real story. She went to the hospital. I'm sorry, everybody. But she went to the hospital with me 2 weeks ago. And this new doctor walks in. This is 100% true. New doctor walks in. Just visualize me in the bed. She has carried me to the hospital in the emergency room. And I'm like this, you know, as I'm waiting for them to give me hospital grade medicine that brings me back to life. Jada's sitting over there in the chair, and this super guy walks in, and he has this chart. Now, I've already been seen by another doctor, but she's left because her shift is over. What's happening here? But this guy walks in, and he goes, hey, how you doing? My name is such and such. And he's like, hey, your name is Jada? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, I've been looking at your sister's chart for a while, and I'm just trying to figure out, can you answer a couple questions for me? How, like, is she always like this? What I'm seeing right now. Now, Jada is like this. So Jada was on her phone, and she's like, so she's looking up at him, and she's like, she goes, my sister, which one, Kayla or Maya? He gets like a kind of a face like distorted. It's so weird. He's tall, super tall guy. And he's like, you know, looking over at Jada. Now I'm halfway like this, but I can hear what's happening. So I open my left eye, and he's like, no, your sister, Tiffany. Like, is she normally like this? And Jada's like, my sister, that's my mom. This is my mom. And the guy goes, and he starts flipping the charts really quick to find my age. You get it? Where the part he's like, what? And he goes like this real fast, and he gets to, like, I don't know, page number 10. And he's like, this is your mom? And Jada's having a heart attack, and he's having a heart attack. And he goes, what did you do? Have children when you were 12? And I was like, sir. And visualize, you have to visualize me waking up halfway dead, waking up. And I'm like, I've been 21 for the last 10 years. And he goes, and he just gets quiet, and he goes, I can't believe that this is your mom. And he goes, this looks like your sister, and it feels like your sister. And Jada's like, I know. And then she goes, but that's my best friend. Does that count? And he was so over it that he turns around and he just walks away. Now, I know I'm off on a tangent, but I needed to share the context of this because sometimes knowing where you are and the perception of everybody else around you in the midst of you trying to change whatever is happening is really important. At that moment, what I said to myself was, I was like, I am not old. I am young. My daughter is turning 20. Holy shit. Oh my God. My daughter is actually already 20. She's turning 21. Let's get to the truth of this. Jada's turning 21. Jada's turning 21. I'm going to have a 21-year-old daughter. I have an 18-year-old daughter turning 19. I have a 12-year-old daughter turning 40. I have a 12-year-old daughter turning 40, which is a different problem. But I have 2 children who are over the age of 18. At that moment, I was in the bed, not really feeling bad, but acknowledging where I was. I said to myself in my head, I was like, lady, you are not dead, so you are not done. Within minutes, I said to the guy, listen, I got to get out of here. I'm done. I'm finished, and I'd like to go home, please. He says to me a couple of things. He gives me a very special medicine that I need, and I'm grateful. Doctor, if you ever hear this, I'm so grateful that you decided to give me this last medicine at the end of the day, right before I leave, because it changes the next week for me. And sometimes when you're trying to figure out what comes next, you just have to take it week by week. With this disease, I take it week by week. Because what's happening is that, yes, I have this disease and everybody wants me to stay home and lay in bed, but I am building something. And I love and care about the people who are supporting me as I try to figure out how to do it. So I push the limits of this body as much as I possibly can, not as I'm willing to do, as much as the body will go until it falls. That is the truth. Why? Because I want to. Now, as tough as that might seem, some of the decisions that you need to make for yourself is about what are you willing to do? For me, this is what I was willing to do. I hunkered down for many months, and after building and building and building, I realized that the name of the game was me making a decision around what type of a product we would sell. Now, if I had been knee deep in trying to sell a product that was $200-$300 a month, yeah, we could have done some things, but I promise you, we wouldn't have done nearly as many things as we've been able to do. If I had sat down at $200, $300 a month or a $200 or $400 product, I would have been out of gas. The very first step, or the next step after the one we just talked about, is you being able to sell a high ticket offer. High ticket offers are the name of the game. Do I believe everybody should sell them all indefinitely? No. But I do believe that if you're trying to step to the market, like if you're just starting, this is for you. If you are feeling all over the place in the world, this is for you. If you don't want to sell via a very sexy funnel that has bells and whistles and rockets shooting out of it, then this is for you. If you're like, you know what, I don't feel like I have a great website. I don't feel like I have a great brand, a big brand online. I don't feel like I have two interviews by Dr. Phil and Oprah, and I'm only interviewed by my daughter and the dog. But you know for a fact that you know some shit. And you're like, I know some shit in these streets. I know some shit and I can really help people. Like, you know this. You can serve people. High ticket is the way to go. The challenging part about selling high ticket is that automatically you believe that you need to have everything perfect before you sell it, and you don't. I want to give you this context as you think about what a high ticket offer is, and if I can shift your mind from not just high ticket, but to selling high ticket as a way to stabilizing yourself, you'll change everything you know. And in the rest of the series, I'll talk about the other revenue, but I want to give context to high ticket because high ticket allows for you to sell 2 to 7 items, and you'd completely change what's happening on your profit and loss statement. You completely change what's happening in your bank account. You completely change what's happening in your team. There are 8 billion people on this planet. There are almost 4 billion people on Facebook alone. Surely, sister, brother, you can find 3 people to say yes in the next 60 days. You can surely find 3 people to say yes in the next 60 days. So the thing that I want you to take away from this is this statement alone. I really want you to pursue high ticket and to think the way I'm going to solve the problems or things that it's in front of me is to either add on high ticket to my world, double down on high ticket to my world, or I'm going to focus for the next 60 days on only that. One way or the other, high ticket is the name of the game. And wait till you see part 2 of this series, because I'm going to talk about the other types of revenue that you need in your world and in your company. And they're all a must. And you can do them all now. You ready? I hope that episode was amazing for you and you are closer to building the damn thing. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts were, what part you loved, and the action that you're going to go take, because the truth of the matter is that the person who wins is not the person who gets there first. It's the person who takes action first. Now, I've got a gift for you, and it is at www.strappedhustle.com. It is imperative that you run there and you see all types of goodies, starting with the 7 must-haves that you gotta put when telling your story. There is so much deliciousness awaiting for you. I would love nothing more than for you to go ahead and give us a thumbs up and a 5-star review on not just this episode, but this entire series of how do you build the damn thing. Like always, if there's anything that we can do to make your week, day, or month better, please let us know. And more importantly, I can't wait to see you live. Whether it's at Do the Damn Thing Live or in one of our communities, or maybe you're just hanging out with us on social media. What I know to be true is that I am meant to connect with you somewhere, and I can't wait for that day to happen. And more importantly, I can't wait to see what you build.